Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this evening's City of Lebanon Plan Commission meeting. I will go ahead and call us to order and note all members are present, all current members are present, with the exception of Mr. Kevin Krulik. He is out of town and is, of course, excused.
Dan Bayshore.
Oh, Dan Bayshore is also unable to join us this evening. My apologies. Yes. Yes, so that takes care of the current members. The next item on our agenda, we do have minutes on there. However, we're going to carry that over to the next meeting. Those minutes are from the December meeting. So we will make sure that we have those at the April meeting of the commission. And that takes us all the way up to old business. Okay. We're going to elect officers first. This is our first meeting of this year, so that is an item that we do have to address yearly. As a reminder to the Plan Commission, we have a president and a vice president currently sitting in those roles. Myself as president, and then Mr. Keith Campbell is the vice president for the 2025 year. So for 2026, if there are any...
I make a motion that we retain the current officers.
We have a motion and a second to retain Keith Campbell as vice president and Corey Coots as president. All those in favor, please signify with an aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed, same sign. That motion does carry. So we will continue with the same officer crew into 2026. Now we can move on from our opening items right past old business, as we have none, and into our new business. We have one docket on the agenda this evening, and that is docket 26-1. And Christy is here to give us some information.
Yeah, so tonight, new business, docket 26-1, the City of Lebanon Utilities requesting voluntary annexation into the City of Lebanon and zoning recommendation for a 5-acre unincorporated parcel of land at the estimated address of 1675 East, 250 South. The requested zoning for the parcel is IN institutional. So I'm going to start by just kind of giving an overview of the annexation process. So just kind of explain step by step how the annexation will come through. So the petition for voluntary annexation of the subject property was filed by the current landowner, making this a super voluntary annexation. A super voluntary annexation is a 100% voluntary process where all landowners within a proposed annexation territory consent and voluntarily petition to be annexed into the city. A super voluntary annexation has a more streamlined approval process that I'm going to outline right now. Step 1, which is the process we're going through tonight, before the Lebanon Common Council considers the annexation ordinance, the Lebanon Plan Commission provides the council with a recommendation for a suitable zoning district designation for the land that's being annexed. This recommendation should consider the principles and policies of the city's comprehensive plan and ordinances, as well as the petitioner's submitted concept plan for future development. This step also includes a public hearing during the Plan Commission meeting. The role of the Plan Commission is solely to recommend a zoning district to the council. The Plan Commission is not considering the merits of the zoning annexation itself. It's not approving the annexation, and it's not approving the proposed improvements submitted to the concept plan. The concept plan is only provided as support for the zoning designation request. Any potential improvements are reviewed after the annexation is effective for compliance with the ordinance and standards. Step 2, after the Plan Commission submits a zoning district recommendation, the annexation ordinance is introduced at the Common Council meeting. Consideration of the annexation ordinance involves 2 consecutive council meetings. The first meeting is the first reading of the annexation ordinance and requires a public hearing. The second meeting is a second reading of the ordinance and adoption of the ordinance. Step 3, once the annexation ordinance is adopted by the council, staff publishes a notice of the adoption in the local paper, and after a 30-day waiting period, which begins the date of adoption, the annexation ordinance becomes effective. and the annexation documents are provided to all local and state agencies confirming the annexation. Once step 3 is complete, the subject property is considered annexed and is in the jurisdiction of the city. So again, that's just a brief overview. And so now I'll go into the staff report for docket 26-1. The City of Lebanon Utilities petition for 100% voluntary annexation. The City of Lebanon Common Council will consider 100% voluntary petition for annexation at their March 23rd meeting. This is approximately 5 acres that is located on County Road 250 South, situated between County Road 200 East and County Road 100 East, at the estimated address of 1693 East, 250 South. Per the Unified Development Ordinance, Section 1.10, the Common Council can consider an ordinance for annexation. The Lebanon Plan Commission shall hold a public hearing and make a recommendation on the new zoning classification for the potential annexed territory to the Common Council. Where a petitioner desires a zoning classification other than the default R1 zoning district, the owner is required to submit a concept plan in support of the request. The petitioner and property owner, City of Lebanon Utilities, has submitted a concept plan, which you see before you tonight, for the intended use of the property to include water booster station building and 2 ground storage water tanks. This use is consistent with the definition of utility minor impact as listed in the use matrix table of the Unified Development Ordinance, Section 3.2. Utility minor impact is defined as a utility use that due to its nature or small scale is unlikely to have any adverse impact on surrounding properties. Examples include telephone switching stations, above and ground water storage tanks, and completely enclosed utilities. The proposed utility use, minor impact use, is considered a permitted use within the institutional IN zoning district. As such, the petitioner has requested the institutional IN zoning classification for the subject property in support of the proposed use and will voluntarily commit to a recorded commitment limiting the use of the property to such uses. Additionally, the proposed improvements will be subject to detailed planning and technical review and should meet all applicable development standards. In addition to provided concept plan, the Plan Commission shall additionally consider the comprehensive plan when evaluating any zoning designations. The Lebanon Comprehensive Plan Future Land Use Map designates the subject property and areas around the property for airport, residential, and industrial uses. Public utility installations are essential in all future land use designations and should be considered in any location where potential impact can be minimized according to the ordinance standards. Therefore, planning staff recommends that the Plan Commission recommend the IN institutional zoning classification for the proposed annexation territory to the Common Council. And the petitioner is here tonight to answer any questions or give any other details that you're interested in hearing for the application.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Christy. Any questions from the commission at this point? No? If the petitioner would care to speak, you're welcome to.
Good evening, Plan Commission. My name is Jeff Jacob. I'm an attorney with Hackman Hewlett and counsel for Lebanon Utilities. I'm here tonight with Ed Baskell, the general manager for Lebanon Utilities. Thank you to staff for your comments. As mentioned, we're here on a super voluntary annexation, asking for the assignment of a institutional zoning classification. We appreciate you being here on our harsh realization that that was false spring yesterday. Just a few comments, and from a statutory standpoint, there's a few things that we must hit. One of them is the contiguity requirement. You've got a letter in your packet with our petition certifying that that is in fact the case. And this site has recently been acquired by the utility. And perhaps not in front of this body, but in front of the council and the utility board, this has been a much discussed and publicized connection point or proposed connection point to the Citizens Energy Group water supply. And so that'll be the first of 3 phases of connection points coming into the city, bringing additional water capacity to the city of Lebanon, including the LEAP district. The site, as you'll note on the concept plan, has a booster station and related infrastructure. It also has 2 proposed 1 million gallon ground storage tanks, not too dissimilar from what Abner Longley has, with additional water mains, valves, access drives, and security fencing. We have made a couple of commitments. One, that this would remain if it's going to remain if it would ever cease being utility use at this site, the zoning classification would revert from its institutional use. And then we've also committed that we would develop the site generally consistent or compliance with the concept plan that you've seen. I'm happy to go through in detail or answer any specific questions regarding the statutory criteria for a rezoning. However, we would generally note and agree with staff that not only this is that the storage of water at this site and pressure stabilization that the project will provide will improve reliability throughout the water system and redundancy for the city. And then the added water supply will allow for growth in the corridors identified in the comprehensive plan. The comprehensive plan is kind of a mixed bag in this area, and we would argue that essential utility installations are paramount for any development to occur. However, if we look at the airport, industrial, and residential uses, we believe that this site and the proposed concept plan is consistent with those uses. So I'm happy to answer any specific questions. Mr. Baskell also would be here to answer any more technical questions that step out of the attorney into the engineering side of things, but we would welcome your favorable recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Commissioners, any questions for utilities? Seeing none, this item does require a public hearing, so I will officially open the public hearing on docket 26-1. So that public hearing is open. Keep in mind, we do limit conversations to 3 minutes and try not to repeat anyone if possible. Pause while we wait. However, I see no one approaching the microphone, so I will close the public hearing. So the public hearing on docket 26-1 has been opened and closed. And with that, any final questions for Christy or the utilities? So just a reminder to the commission, at this point, it is a recommendation to the council. So this item is simply a recommendation to the Common Council on a zoning classification. Staff report does recommend institutional zoning, but I would entertain any motions.
I'll make a motion that docket 26-1 that we recommend to the Common Council the IN institutional zoning classification for the proposed annexation territory.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Should we roll or just a standard? I think we can do just a standard vote. So we'll do all those in favor, please signify with an aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. That motion does carry unanimously. And thank you all very much for being here this evening and going over that with us. Much appreciated. I see no other business before us this evening. We took care of appointing officers. We took care of docket 26-1. So I believe we are on to adjournment. I would entertain a motion. Got a motion to adjourn?
I'll second.
And a second. All those in favor, please signify with an aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. We are adjourned. We will see you at the next scheduled meeting.